Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing a new Toyota Tundra with the long bed. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Carl Malone Toyota here in Draper, Utah for giving some time with this Tundra. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 3.4-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 17 around town and then 22 on the highway with power outputs being 389 horsepower and then 479 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So I just reviewed a limited with the Tier D off-road package the other day. That one had the factory 3-inch lift. So if you guys want to see kind of more in depth, then look at that review for some stuff, but we'll still go over some highlights. So you got the cool sequential turn signals with this. The Tier D package blacks out the grille and the Toyota badge. You've got the fog lights there at the bottom as well. Still no recovery points, by the way. You got these Tier D wheels. They are larger wheels. They're 20-inch wheels, but they still look cool. You also get Bilstein shocks as well. See the Tundra badge there on the side and then the limited badge as well. And then taking a few steps back, you can see the long bed does change the side profile quite a bit. You got quite a bit more happening there in the rear. And before we pop to the back, you can see the key fob, just normal Tundra key fob. You do have the tailgate function that'll lower. Coil in the back, another Bilstein shock there. See the Tier D off-road decal. But yeah, we've got protection here from the factory. And look how much bed space there is. This is over 6 feet in length. We also have an outlet here in the bed as well. But yeah, tons of practicality. And it's nice that you can get this with the larger cab. Now, I think this one has the tailgate raise. Yep. So that's a nice new feature. You also have a kick step with this as well. So yeah, on the exterior, and I'll give you guys as many angles as I can. It makes it look a little bit dorky with the long bed, but I mean, it's practical, right? But of course, the coolest thing about this truck is going to be the interior. So the Limited does get a nicer interior. See the seats too. But the big thing is the cab. You've got the larger cab, even though you have the long bed. You can see the little charging ports and everything. But yeah, this is a big deal. So you've got practicality back there and back here as well. And for those of you wondering, up front, we do have memory seats with this. The mirrors power fold in. They have blind spot monitoring. Payload on the long bed, 1380. Got the cool camel print on the seats. Heated steering wheel. And then being a Limited, we do have the full digital gauge cluster with this. We also have adaptive cruise control, another nice feature. 360 camera system. And then we've got dual zone climate with heated and ventilated seats. We have a rear locking differential because of the Tier D off-road package. See the spilly control and trailer backup assist. Drive mode select with a tow haul mode, crawl control, multi-terrain select is all built in. And then traditional 2-speed transfer case. And then this has the whole center console set up here. And then, you know, there's kind of like nice trim throughout. Camera rear view mirror, and then the whole window in the back goes down. So that's kind of a look at a lot of the key features in this. And then when it comes to pricing, well, you can see the base MSRP there, but you've got quite a few options. Tier D off-road is pretty pricey. $66,819 is the total MSRP on this as equipped. And so with that being said, let's take it out and see if the long bed drives any different. Well, let us set off in this Tundra with the long bed. And this is a Toyota day, that's for sure. I have this Land Cruiser as a demo from Toyota for the week. And then I've done a bunch of comparisons with the Tundra, and then I compared that to a 4Runner today. So it's an interesting setup. I will say the modern Toyotas, it's interesting because my wife and I personally, we own a 200 series Land Cruiser, and it's interesting to see some of the similarities between these modern Toyotas and our 200 series, and obviously the big differences. Like, for example, we have the cool 360 off-road camera, but then our interior is like just completely different, and then powertrain too. So it's interesting to see the differences. And ooh, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it on that side ever. The window sticker is just too much in the way. I don't feel safe. I guess I could roll down the window. We'll just go this way though, it's fine. Great torque. Great torque. Yeah, I'm wondering on the Toyota side of things, I'm wondering if the, ooh, speaking of Toyotas, got the new GX550. It's the Land Cruiser sibling. It's another one too. I'm wondering if the generation of Land Cruisers that we have, if that generation of Toyotas is going to go down in history as like the best, just because, you know, you still had some simplicity and then V8s and everything, whereas all these new Toyotas are either turbo 4 or turbo 6-cylinder. Got a lot more power though. And that's something to know. I mean, this has 2 less horsepower than our V8, but it's got way more torque, and you feel it. Like, look at this. It's a torque monster. Now it does have some piped in audio, I'm like 99% sure. Sounds a little bit too muscular for a twin turbo V6, but it's fine, right? So long as your speakers don't break, you'll have a good experience with the sound, right? But all jokes aside, I mean, this drives well. It's got comfortable suspension. The long bed is a little bit, well, I think the shorter bed is a little bit more comfortable. I've said this in the past, but when you've got more weight in the center of the truck with a shorter bed, it just seems to ride better, versus this has less weight in the back, more weight in the front. So I think it does make a difference. But it still rides, it still rides well. It's nice. It is nice. And the braking and everything's good too. Yeah, I think it's smooth, all things considered. The camera popping on at low speeds is always an interesting thing with the Toyotas. Yeah, this thing's a torque monster. Look at that. Zooming. Just zooming. The hybrid helps out even more if you want a bigger, stronger punch. So to sum things up with the Tundra long bed, this might be the Tundra sweet spot because the Limited gives you all the luxury features. This one doesn't have a sunroof, but I think a lot of truck people don't really care about sunroofs. So it's kind of nice that it doesn't have a sunroof. You're not paying for it. One less thing to break. But yeah, it's got all the luxury features. It's a torque monster. It's got great power. And it's smooth. And again, you got the practicality. It's got the bigger cab at the same time that it has the longer bed. You don't have to, you know, concede where you're like, okay, I got the big bed, but I have a small cab. So it's nice on that. It's nice on that front. And you know, when you compare it to the domestics, it's pretty reasonably priced. I mean, $66K buys you like an XLT F-150 or a Bighorn Ram. And this competes with a Lariat or a Laramie in terms of equipment. So I think it's really cool with the setup. This is the weirdest thing ever. I don't know if you guys know, this school here, this person owns land in front of the school. It's private ownership and they use it as pasture. And it's in the middle of the city. It's the coolest thing ever. It's like that person could probably get, who knows, millions of dollars for that land. And they're like, nope, I want it for my horses. But sidetrack aside, let me know what you guys think about this setup. But I think this is pretty cool. I think this is probably the Tundra to get for a lot of people because it's got the right features. It pretty much has everything you need, nothing you don't need, and it's got the long bed. So I think it's a win-win overall. Let me know your thoughts.